Hello there and welcome back to another Basics GameMaker Studio tutorial, and this is based on those yo-yo block articles, real-time 2D lighting in GameMaker Studio. So if you want to see the whole documentation for that, well, check it out here because this is based on this. There are two of them, so part 1 and part 2. And this is just on vertices, so you're drawing one big primitive. I'm gonna explain that in a few seconds. And this is the more funky and more computational and more difficult to understand version. So yeah, so basically what you're seeing in front of you is on the one side a light system. So if you don't know how to do that, link in the description below because I already did that. And then the second thing is this kind of 2D shadow casting. So for example, where you cannot see, then bam, we are drawing tons of little triangles which are black, and then, well, it appears that you cannot see those very specific areas. So that is it. If you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing. Yeah, completely butchered my introduction, because I guess this video won't be, well, not too viable for most of you guys. So once again, very demanding topic in my opinion. But let's dive quickly into what's actually happening. So the first thing, if you do a light system, what you do, you just make everything black and then you just poke holes in there. And this is how it appears. This is how the whole system of yo-yo light actually works. And the second thing is, this is how the other stuff is working. Basically, you have a origin point, and from that origin point, every step it's calculating, hey, how far I can go. And for example, if I can go further than this because these things are blocking me, then we are drawing tons of little triangles which are called primitives. Then bam, 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 and we have a little list of those, and then there are bazillions of them around here, and then you get, well, this little effect which you're seeing on top and bottom. So this is how this thing works in principle. And well, how is this organized? This is bouncing off tiles. So basically I'm having my tile set which is consisting of those, well, darker tiles and then light tiles, and then just, I don't know, draw them here, bam, this is basically it. And then the light system is, or the 2D light system is trying to get as far as possible. If not, bam, it stops making one there. And as you can imagine, this is quite computational, so this is quite demanding, and this is how it basically works. You just set it up very quickly. So you make your vertex and then you submit this. So basically you just throwing into the buffer lots of data, which are those little triangles here, and bam, you make your primitives, and then, well, you get the result in the end. Not gonna go into some details. Basically you just in the end need something to bounce off. This is your layer of tile set, and well, you give it a color, and I modified it a little bit so you can actually put in other colors and other alphas, but not gonna go into that because difficult to understand. And the second one is the mother of wows, because here, besides let's actually check it out. So let's put that room up, because here this is even more difficult because you just have one object, but it has a surface attached to it, and then it has a shader attached to it. So this one is definitely more difficult. Wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend it the first version, so the type 1, where you have a light system. And then second of all, as an additional optional thing, this 2D light casting, because what you see, for example, you have your frame rate per second. So on the top left, it's going like between 2000 and something, and then whomp, it goes on very low values. So if you put lots of those things in here, very computational, this will cripple your performance significantly. That's why I would just say put one of those things, I don't know, type 1 or type 2, whichever you prefer, in the room, and then maybe a second one, and then this is it. Or for example, just let it do its calculations when it's near or on the screen. So therefore you can save lots of resources because that thing isn't efficient at all. So what is the second one doing? And just very quickly, so this is just one object, and here you have a surface, you apply a shader, and that shader is filled with lots of stuff, and you draw that, and then you make actually the thing in the buffer 2 times. I'm not sure if that is actually correct, because it is actually 2 times in here. So yeah, not the biggest fan of the second version, because the first one looks almost the same, but maybe we can actually do something like this so you can see. So this is how it looks like, and then it bounces off significantly. And yeah, so this is pretty nice. And of course, if you're using, let's say, not 100% of, well, of the color of those little triangles as completely black and an alpha of 1, then you're getting, as you can see, those different kind of rays. And then this is maybe a thing which you don't want to have, because maybe you want them not to overlap, to be in one color. Just keep that in mind. And we are pretty much done, because hey, let's not make this more complicated than it should be. So basically 2 types. One just where you draw tons of little triangles and use an additional light system to make it atmospheric, or use the other one, which is definitely more demanding, where you have a surface and a shader and you apply it, and then you still have your primitives to do. So this one has a basis and this one is taking it over, but boosting it to 5,000 or even more. So that was pretty much it for today. Just a little thing, if you are a patron, of course you get the project for free and you can check it out if you like. Just keep in mind, very computational. Most of the time you won't be using it anyway, so but still looks pretty cool. So that was it for today. Have a good one. One up indie.